Channel, another episode of Fiancé and Finances. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist and I own 52 units of real estate.
My name's Christine. I'm a pharmacist and we own a house together.
So today we want to talk about what if you cannot live at home, right? Because for me and Christine, we were fortunate enough to live at home for the first 4 years after graduating pharmacy school. And that really helped accelerate us paying off our student debt to be able to save up for a house. But there may be those of you who are stuck in a situation where it's not possible to stay at home, whether is your job is somewhere else, or maybe your family dynamic may not be conducive to living at home. So we kind of want to share some tips as to what your other options are.
Yeah. So, as for me, I was extremely grateful where I was able to live at home, but I saw a lot of friends and family who also moved out. And as for them, like if they couldn't afford rent in like the central LA area, they would drive further. They would rent a place that's a little bit further, maybe an hour or an hour and a half even, just so that they can commute to work. And those places that are a little bit further from LA have cheaper rents.
Yeah, so one method is to, rent in a place that's more cost effective. So, for example, we live in Los Angeles. You can go a little further out. It's going to be a longer commute, obviously, and more time stuck in traffic, but you could save on rent by not living in those areas.
Mm-hmm.
So, like for me, what I did was actually my very, very first job when I was a brand new pharmacist. It was in the remote area called King City. Really small area. I was probably the only Asian person in that whole town, to be honest. But it was a small kind of rural area, small little hospital, and I just basically rented a room for like I think $400, including all utilities, internet, all that. And for me, I just treat it like a kind of like a hotel. Like I was only there Monday through Friday. I would leave Friday after work to drive home back to the Bay Area, and then I would leave, late Sunday after dinner to drive to the area. So for me, it was really a place just to eat, sleep, and shower. And yes, I did have to share a kitchen with, a family, for example. Yes, I did have to, not park in a garage and park on the street. Yes, I did mostly stick into my room where I spent most of my time. But because of that, I was able to get a month to month place to live that included utilities and it was $450. So
Wow, that's a steal.
yeah, it was a really cost effective way. And keep in mind, I was making like $55 an hour, taking home maybe $6,000. So that was like less than 10% of my take home pay to live somewhere.
Yeah, you made it work. It wasn't glamorous, but it was a place to stay.
Yeah, and so that's one thing that I recommend to people too, and which is why house hacking is very popular, right? Where you just rent a room out at a fraction of the cost, and you have to deal with the setup costs of internet, setting up your utilities, and it gives you a little more flexibility in case you were to change jobs. The lease isn't as strict compared to living in an apartment or renting a house. So it's a great alternative just to rent a room. And yeah, you may have to like share a bathroom or you may have to share a kitchen, but maybe the family you rent from, they're barely at home or they have different hours than you.
Yeah, or if you don't want like as many roommates as like a whole house, sharing like a whole house with multiple three other people, you can also rent a apartment, like a two-bedroom apartment, and just have one other roommate. So at least it's a more fixed situation. So it's just you and the other roommate splitting expenses down the road, down the middle.
Yeah. So, obviously, if you were to rent a one bedroom versus a two bedroom, the two bedroom is usually a couple $100 more, like
Mhm.
specifically in LA. Like, for example, a one bedroom might be like 2,500 and a two bedroom might be like maybe 2,800, for
Yeah.
example. But if you're able to split that rent in half, then it's $1,400 each. But yes, the downside is you're sharing a space. You may have conflicts with your roommate. They may suddenly move out on you or whatever that looks like. So it's just kind of a short term inconvenience, to be honest, to kind of set yourself up financially for the future, right?
Yes, that's why when you're in those situations, it's really important to just save. Save as much as you can. If there's other investments that you can go into, try to invest the rest of your money into those and just hone in so you can plan for the next stage.
Yeah, like for me, for example, because I was only paying like just making $500 a month to rent a room, and I was making $6,000 take home. I was able to basically save $5,500 a month.
Hmm.
So I knew that if I put this money away into investments like 401k, to max that out, to also pay down my student debt, which I had like well, I refinanced it to 4% interest rate, but to pay that off and be free of that, and then to save up for a house for the future, it kind of kept me a little bit motivated to kind of suck up the living situation.
Hmm.
And what's nice too is, like you said, coming out of college or coming out of pharmacy school, you're used to living with people anyways.
Hmm.
Like literally, you'd be cram packed in a roommate in like a 150 square foot
Yeah,
place, right?
it's pretty
So
bad
like,
looking back.
yeah, it's pretty bad. But so like, it's not you're not too far removed from that. So like, just extend that as long as possible. But for me, it just didn't become as enticing. Once I started, dating Christine, or if you have like a significant other and you want more privacy, or like eventually if you have kids, you kind of don't want to make that sacrifice as much. But when you're younger and you kind of have that poor college mentality, it kind of helps you save a lot of money. So you have to be disciplined in taking that money and investing it, not just spending it. Like
Yes,
it's not like, hey, I save $500 in rent. Let me go drink or
yes.
go to a party
You
or
have
buy something
to
nice.
use that money that you're saving and put into like a separate savings account. And by that, that forced savings will help you plan for the future.
Yeah. So like for example, like I'm at the stage now where we live in a 3-bedroom house, and it's just us two. And we went from 450 square foot studio to like 4 times the space, and we have 2 vacant rooms. So it's now, do we want to rent a room out or do we not? And it's up to us now. Like we want the privacy, by all means we don't have to, because
Mhm.
we were disciplined early on.
Yeah, the money is enticing, but we're still thinking about whether we want to rent it out.
Yeah. Or if, like, you know what, maybe one of us wants to trim down to part time and the money will be nice, then we have the option to rent it out and know that we're gonna have another roommate in here, and it just they have their own bathroom at least, but you might see them in the common areas. So it's a pros and cons to it, and we're still deciding. So hopefully this kind of gave you some insight as to what your options are if you can't move out or if you can't live at home. Sorry, and just ways to save money and to still be disciplined with that. Anyways, hopefully you found value from this video. Let us know if you have any questions. If you're interested in joining the multifamily mentorship program and want some guidance to buy multifamily real estate, check out the link down below. Otherwise, please like, comment, subscribe, and hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. Bye bye.